Let's take a perspective about the city of Sarasota. And it's a city that has been committed to planning its future, and it's been successful with those plans. The first major plan for the city was in 1924 by John Nolan. He developed a plan that specified the small city block size for downtown Sarasota that is essential to walkability and its current success. And so the most recent plan in the city of Sarasota, Master Plan for downtown, which was prepared by the famous new urbanist city planner, Andrew Dwyney, in the year 2000 and adopted with some revisions in 2001 by the city of Sarasota. The Master Plan themes were connecting the downtown to the bayfront, a system of walkable streets, a balanced transportation system, and walk-to-town neighborhoods. And so that's what this is about. Let's talk for a moment, though, about why this is so important. Because downtowns, traditional downtowns in most American cities, have not been able to compete with their retail centers such as shopping centers and large big box stores. Where I came from in Illinois and Ohio, downtowns in cities like Sarasota died. Retail stores were closed, the streets became deserted. In Mattoon and Charleston, Illinois, a couple of cities where I worked in Illinois, the downtown retail stores not only empty, but many were leveled to deal with blighted buildings. I could go on example after example from the Midwest with closed stores, downtown streets with no cars, no pedestrians. This is why we must plan to create successful downtowns. Downtown Sarasota in the 80s and early 90s, I'm told, was a ghost town. The phrase, "you could shoot a cannon down Main Street and not even scare someone," was used to describe downtown Sarasota. The improvements which were a result of the new master plan for Sarasota have been brought in: Whole Foods, the Ritz-Carlton, Lemon Street improvements, Upper Main Streetscapes, for example, of things Sarasota did to stimulate and revitalize downtown. This plan to connect downtown with neighborhoods, the cultural district, and the waterfront is a logical next step in maintaining the vitality of Sarasota. What most of us want are downtowns that look like this. We remember this from our childhood if we're a boomer. A vibrant downtown, bustling with people. Take a look at this man crossing the street. It looks like my brother walking his dog in downtown Sarasota. It's an attempt to recreate those downtowns and recapture the sense of community that they engender. Farmers Market is a wonderful example of this. Rod and I spent last Saturday morning at a booth at Farmers Market explaining to our neighbors what this plan is and the idea of connectivity and how this helps Sarasota become a viable city. What an exciting place. And so with that, let's go to new urbanism for a moment. A quick view of this concept. It's a planner's shorthand term for reformulating the city to promote walkability, to promote neighborhoods, and to promote a alternative to urban sprawl. Now, there are several principles of new urbanism, but this program that we're dealing with, this plan, is walkability, connectivity, and balanced transportation. That's what we're going to talk about. Walkability. It takes you 10 minutes in a walkable city to get most of the things you need, about the time it takes to park at the edge of the parking lot and walk to the center of the mall. Pedestrian-oriented design is what we're talking about. Slow-speed streets, building oriented towards the streets and public space, and density of buildings and shops and activities. And connectivity talks about the interconnecting street grid to disperse traffic, not the suburban type, but the old-fashioned grid that lets traffic move throughout the downtown area with a hierarchy of boulevards, streets, and alleys. And smart and balanced transportation for bicycles, for walking, for transit. This has to be incorporated into the set of plans.
Yeah, we don't want to leave out the bicyclists. There are a lot of cyclists around Sarasota, and they're working on improving the transit alternatives in the city. Have to consider all of that.
Well, again, the downtown master plan had these themes. One I want to talk about for a moment is the walk-to-town neighborhoods. And if you go to the next slide, these are the neighborhoods in Sarasota that will have an impact as a result of this study. These are neighborhoods in which walkability will be significantly improved and the link to downtown improved. They include Avondale, Hudson Bayou, Harbor Acres, Bay Point Park, Central Park Condos, Lincoln Park, Laurel Park, Rosemary District, Lispy Park, Central Coconut Neighborhood, Golden Gate, Cedar Point. and the Ringling Bridge, which now has hundreds of people using it as a recreational facility.
We should extend that activity on down the bayfront. Its beauty, its utility, and the way people use it. It's a place to be. You could be that way on the bayfront if it was done right.
Well, the point here is to connect downtown with the neighborhoods, the cultural district, and the waterfront. This federal highway from 14th Street north all the way across the waterfront and up the mound was built in the 50s, same time as the interstate highway system. The focus was on moving automobiles. The system was a success in moving vehicles and had economic stimulus, but there were unintended consequences. It contributed to the urban sprawl and the decline of city centers. It created a way of life that is unsustainable. We're moving into a new era of making corrections to that system. There are new traffic systems that we can avoid this kind of circumstances this lady is in. We can make these places safer. We can make them quieter. We can really make a difference about what these are going to look like. The key concepts, again, are to reduce the speed, but to construct the roundabouts to keep the traffic flowing in a constant and continuous manner, and to create an urban avenue with places for pedestrians to come across, and to complete the streets so that they are effective for everyone. Again, the best example is the one at Clearwater, the closest example. This will mimic the one that would be at Gulfstream and 41, a three-legged roundabout. The traffic in high season here is how many vehicles a day?
Well, the AADT is 40. Oh, this one goes up to 60, above 60,000 cars in peak season.
Okay.
I think 59,000 is the right measure.
And it still is operating just fine.
They're operating just fine.
And if you go to the next slide, of course, they have put in lights for pedestrians. How many pedestrians in the peak season?
In peak season, 6,000 pedestrians a day.
We want some of
next to a beach.
We want some of these pedestrians in downtown Sarasota, not only to look at our statues along the bayfront and to enjoy the bayfront, but to come to downtown and enjoy that beautiful downtown as well.
There's a pedestrian using that.
There's the pedestrians going across. Again, to emphasize speed and travel time should not be diminished for anyone coming from the Keys or anywhere else based upon this type of design. And as we move on,
12 seconds.
It's safe in this particular place. We save time, less conflict for pedestrians. It's safer, fewer and less serious accidents, fewer injuries and less severe injuries. It's quicker. Time saved from waiting on traffic lights, put cars significantly further down the road, even at slower speeds. It's quieter because there's a significant noise reduction due to slower traffic. It's cleaner. There are less carbon emissions from standing traffic. It's greener, less use of fuel waiting at the traffic lights, and it's cheaper because you don't have to maintain the traffic lights, and they work even in a hurricane.
And you save gas, too.
And it's better for everyone wherever they live.
Super. Tonight's connectivity websites we want to point out. Internet, you can find lots of resources about these matters. TryCompleteStreets.org. That's about new urbanism. Walkable.org. That's about pedestrians and pedestrian safety and some of the improvements that can be used. And SmartGrowth.org, another new urbanism type site about integrating the street grid. And we want to make this place a livable downtown and bayfront and interconnected with the city and the neighborhoods. A livable corridor with slower traffic, safe for all users, whether you're on wheels or whether you're on foot, and move that volume with less delay so you aren't burning gas waiting at signalized intersection, can move right on through without losing time. Protect life and limb. We'll spend another show with a lot of features on how it's more safe. You can't get hit in a head-on collision at this type of roundabouts that's proposed. And it'll slow speed along the entire corridor, and that'll be infectious and happen beyond the roundabouts. That's the 2020 Master Plan. We're trying to complete a portion to reconnect the downtown and the bayfront, the missing portion, and soon the city will have a public hearing on the matter, which you should come see.